All right, going to be adding our controllers here for department instructor and office assignment. So let's go ahead, add new scaffolded item. And so we have 3 classes we need to do this for. This is the exact same thing that we did when we first created the views. So one of the new views is department. So we're going to choose that, school context, and make sure the views have all of the check marks. And we are not going to pluralize the controller name. So get rid of the S and click on add. All right, so I can see it. So that one's done. Let's do the next one. So we did department, and let's do instructor next. Make sure all of those are on. Let's get rid of the S. And then we have one more. This is the office assignment. And make sure all of the check marks below view are on. Get rid of the S after office assignments and click on add. Now, we also said the course controller needed to be changed because that needs to pull in department and instructor. And so rather than manually add those, what we're going to do is just delete the course controller. And we're going to come down and delete the course view. Going to get rid of the entire folder. And we're just going to regenerate them because that is the fastest, easiest way to get those new properties into the controller and the views. So we're redoing course here. Let's select course. And we're going to get rid of the S because we're not pluralizing in this particular project. And let's add. So now at this point, we've fixed everything. So let's save and we'll run a build. We're not going to run the app yet because we do need to fix the layout. So let's go down to layout. There's a couple changes we're going to make. And the first change is to add to our navigation. So I'm just going to copy the last 3 because we have 3 new models we have to add here. And I'm going to paste after course and before enrollment. Okay, and then the first one, we'll put in instructor. And then our controller for that is instructor, and it's the index action method that we want. And then what we want on the menu bar for the next one is, let's do their office. And that was called office assignment. And that's the index. And then the last one is department. And that was index, action method, and department controller. Okay, so we've got all of that in there, and then we're going to get rid of register and login because we actually don't have those in this project. So let's delete that. And at this point, we're going to save everything and run a build. And let's test this. So when you test this, you definitely want to add an instructor, an office, and a department. Okay, and you can see that we have a couple instructors that don't have departments. I'll add myself. And then let's go over to instructor's office. Okay, and then we'll go to department. And you see here's our temp one. We can actually delete that. And then all of that temp data was changed. And let's create a new one. And we run into a little problem here because you can see it's forcing us to pick an instructor. This actually violates our department rules because we said that a department does not have to have an administrator. So I'm going to just pick one for now, but we need to fix this. So to fix this, we are going to go into the department view because the problem is the view, right? We want to be able to select nothing here. So we don't really have to stop the application to change a view. So it's the department create view. And the problem is in the drop-down list. Okay, we actually need a default value. Okay, so right now it's displaying the instructor ID. And that's within the list, so that's fine. But here it's specifying drop down. And so what we need here is just an entry to display at the top. And we want select administrator, which means that if we don't click it and put in an instructor, it just leaves it blank. That's exactly what we want. So we can save this and actually go out here. And if I reload, now I can put in a department, a budget, and a start date without picking an administrator. That's exactly what we want. Now let's go back to instructor. And let's go into edit. Now, one thing you'll notice is that currently we have no way to put an instructor into an office. That would actually require updating multiple models, and so we're going to have to wait for part 2 of complex data models. Okay, that's a change that we are going to make. Okay, so once they have an office location, uh, you want to be able to change it, and we also want to be able to add it. And currently, we cannot do that. But that change is coming. We'll just have to wait. So at this point, all of our data models are working. There are some changes that we are going to be making that involve updating multiple tables, and we're not going to get into that until complex data models part 2. But what we are going to do next is we're going to create a custom page that is actually pretty darn cool because it displays all of the instructors, and then you can select an instructor to see their courses, and then you can select a course to see the students that are enrolled.